It's 2023 and the housing market is interesting right now, so here are my predictions for the 2023 Delaware housing market. If we haven't connected yet, my name is Zachary Faust, team leader over here at Loft Realty in Dover. These are my 5 predictions because I want to talk about the things that I think truly and honestly will happen over the next 6 to 12 months as we exit 2023 into 2024. Let's get it. Number 1, Newcastle County continues to see major growth. Outside of just Wilmington, Newcastle County as a whole is at this exact moment, as we shoot this in April of 2023, getting into quarter 2, we are currently seeing for every 100 homes that hit the housing market, 108 are going under contract. That math don't math. What it does mean is that the demand for coming just over the line from Philadelphia and Jersey, traveling down the coast from New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, Massachusetts, has become more and more popular amongst retirees, people looking to work digitally from their job, or those that simply don't have any form of locational tie to where they have to live and they want to seek the tax haven and sales price haven in comparison to some of these other areas that Delaware is. For perspective, in North Newcastle County, you're expecting an average sales price of in or around $345,000, where in places like Jersey, Philadelphia, parts of New York, you're easily expecting to spend over $500,000, if not $650,000 or more, to get into a home in a nice area. We expect to see Newcastle home values continue to go up at an increased rate over anybody else, as the demand for them is just crazy. Partner that in with all the new businesses and restaurants and entertainment factor that's going into Newcastle, and I see a tremendous amount of growth coming to the north side of Delaware. Number 2, interest rates continue to stabilize into the 5.5–6% range. If you've been living under a rock about what's been going on with the Fed and interest rates, let me catch you up real quick. Interest rates are not 3, 4, and 5% anymore. They're high 5s, 6s, and 7s now. And that's all because when COVID happened, we dropped the Fed rate to 0%. We started printing money by just leaps and bounds. More than a third of our economy was printed in like a 2-year span. And because we printed all that money, we caused a severe amount of inflation, and that's what we're feeling today. To curb and fight that inflation, the Fed has pumped their Fed rate up and mortgage rates have followed suit, riding with inflation, making interest rates high. And quite honestly, if they were to ever drop them to those 2, 3, 4% ranges again, we would simply cause another housing issue. Now, if you're lucky enough to be one of the 2/3 of homeowners that have an interest rate that's below 5%, that's great, but we're probably not gonna see that interest rate happen again, at least not in the near future. Reason being is because if those rates drop for everything like credit cards, cars, boats, homes, people buy more, and when people buy more, inflation just continues to get pushed upward when they're really trying to quell it at this moment and get it back down to the 2% range, which is what Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed that works with the government and basically speaks for all the central banks and how the government's moving their money, has said that he's trying to get the inflationary rate back down to 2% year over year, and we currently sit at about 6.5%, but we were as high as over 9% year over year, so it has improved. Number 3, we're gonna see more neighborhoods, lots. So going back to number 2, we have 66% of homeowners that have a 5% or less interest rate, which means they're not selling. Why would they sell and go and get a 7% interest rate if they have a 2% interest rate? A lot of people are just sitting on their low interest rates, meaning we are missing inventory. Our supply is low, and whenever supply is low, home prices can't go down. So I see in Delaware, and we already have so many permits flying around for lots, for sewer, for streets to be run, and signs are everywhere showing it, that new neighborhoods are being built everywhere. From Lewis crawling up Route 13 into Millsboro and over into Harbison even more, to Dover, our capital, getting more neighborhoods on its outskirts like Magnolia, Camden, Smyrna, and Hartley. And in Newcastle County, staying below the canal, Townsend, Odessa, and Middletown have so much new construction going in, it's crazy. Sussex County does lead the way currently with the most new construction coming to market, but in the next coming 6 to 12 months, expect more neighborhoods, more communities, and more builders building homes to meet the supply needs that we currently have. Now, before I tell you why home prices are probably gonna go up, let me tell you why it won't crash. It won't crash because we don't have enough supply and we have plenty of demand. And that's just simple economics. If we have people that wanna buy the product and we don't have enough of the product to supply the people that wanna buy it, home prices naturally drive upwards because people are fighting each other for what's available. And we're seeing that all over Delaware, all 3 counties, multiple offers. If homes are marketed and priced properly, they sell. And a lot of times with multiple offers. So without some third-party national factor coming in, like for instance, if something were to topple the actual American economy, of course, housing is gonna take a little bit of a hit, but in most all recessions, home prices weren't truly that affected, especially after the next 2 to 3 years. And because I can't see the housing market crashing, we can only see what the stats say, and the stats say home prices will continue to go up, and I predict it's gonna be upwards of 3 to 5% in most areas, with Newcastle County potentially seeing 7 to 8% increases in their homes' values. Now, of course, this is area by area, neighborhood by neighborhood, and zip code by zip code, but overall, we should see the state continue to see an increase in home value, and there's 3 reasons why. Number one, we have so much out-of-state traffic, not just to the beaches and people who, crowd up Route 1 during the summer, but people who actually come from Pennsylvania, New York, all the way up to Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont to buy a home because they sell their $600,000 home in Concord and they're able to come down and use that cash to buy really whatever they want in Delaware. Number 2, we're a retiree haven. Because of our low tax burdens and also our low price points, it's made for an amazing place for someone to once again sell their $600,000, $700,000 home outside of New York City or New Jersey, or you can go all the way up to Massachusetts, wherever you choose, and then they come down to Delaware, they can buy their $400,000 home in cash and have little to no month to month or year to year burden on themselves financially. And number 3 is the big one. Our taxes are so low. Between LLC taxes, 0% lodging taxes, between our shopping taxes being low and our property taxes being low, we just have a great tax state, and a lot of people know about it now. New Jersey has high taxes, Pennsylvania has some higher taxes, New York, high taxes. So when they see our tax burden, they're like, yeah, we're gonna move down to Delaware.
Oh my God!
And I don't see any of those things changing in the near future. So like I said, with everything being what it is right now, there's no reason home prices in Delaware don't continue to go up. And number 5, rent's not coming down. Listen, for the same exact reason home prices are presumably not going down is the same reason rental prices shouldn't be going down. My argument for this is simple supply and demand once again. So many would-be first-time homeowners have turned into renters simply because we're living in one of the most expensive times to buy a home of all time. Over just the last 2.5 years, home prices have gone up over 41% nationally. That is not normal. And on top of that, the average mortgage now costs 48% more than it did just a year and a half ago. That is just that stinks. And since the ability to buy a home affordably, or at least what was once deemed affordable, is not something that's coming back around in the near future, and income at jobs isn't going to be making any jumps in the near time future either, we're probably going to continue to see an increased demand for rentals, which means rental prices per month don't go down. So if you're a landlord, investor, homeowner, but you got real estate property here in Delaware, get a fist pump going. You have equity. You made a great decision, especially if you had it before 2020. You have equity already, and it's going to continue to grow. So congrats. And if you're looking into growing your portfolio, buying more rental properties, or you're looking to get into your first property and you just want to push through, you can't afford it, and you're going to get into your first Delaware home, hit us up, DM us. But hey, at the very least, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. We are striving to be the best content you can find for real estate in Delaware, and we can only do that by growing with a community of like-minded individuals like you. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you know when we post next. Can't wait to talk with you soon about more about the Delaware housing market.